On July 3rd, a highly anticipated film in recent Indian history quietly premiered on streaming screens. It starred cultural icon Diljit Dosanjh, who stepped away from his usual blockbuster roles for a project of quiet intensity. But if you try to watch it in India just a few days later, you hit a digital wall. Users searching ZEE5 found the title completely wiped from the library, met only with error messages and vague platform notices citing an ongoing due process, as it was removed until further notice. This digital dead end was the culmination of a grueling 3-year bureaucratic war between the filmmakers and the Central Board of Film Certification. In our modern digital ecosystem, the state can execute the instantaneous erasure of art with a single administrative directive, which leaves a massive question hanging over the empty search results. What exactly did this narrative say that made it too dangerous to exist online? To understand the blackout, we have to look at the compromises the creators refused to make. They bypassed traditional theatrical distribution completely, choosing to skip the box office rather than allow the director's cut to be butchered. This timeline maps out the systemic effort to sanitize the movie's identity. The initial title, Galugara, was struck down by censors and replaced with the broader Punjab 95. Eventually, that date was considered too pointed, and the title dissolved entirely into a local river, Satluj. This censored movie chronicles the true story of a man whose entire life's work involved investigating forced, state-sponsored disappearances. The bureaucratic suppression of the film serves as a modern parallel to its own plot. The mechanisms for silencing uncomfortable truths are still fully operational today, merely applied to streaming libraries instead of official documents. The historical reality behind the script takes us back to Punjab in the 1990s, grounding the narrative in a landscape marked by regional conflict and severe law enforcement crackdowns. Amidst this unrest, Jaswant Singh Kalra stepped in. Acting as a human rights activist, he began to closely examine the actions of local authorities during a period of intense state violence. This compounding bar chart visualizes the staggering scale of his forensic work. Kalra uncovered local police systematically disappearing and illegally cremating thousands of Sikh youths, keeping the operations entirely off the official books. Because he built a meticulous paper trail of these shadow operations, Kalra became a target. His documentation directly resulted in his own state-orchestrated disappearance. His physical removal was designed to leave a deliberate void in the historical record. When anyone attempts to reconstruct those findings visually today, the state treats it as a direct challenge to that constructed silence. Director Honey Trehan approached this history with a rigid, procedural lens. He actively avoided standard Bollywood melodrama, opting for a cold, factual retelling. Critics noted that the final cut functions less like a traditional biopic and far more like a harrowing, step-by-step forensic investigation into state violence. To anchor this, Diljit Dosanjh stripped away his charismatic star persona. His performance is lauded for its heavy restraint, embodying a man driven by quiet, unyielding conviction. This specific commitment to raw authenticity is exactly what jammed the bureaucratic gears. The film presented facts rather than sensationalized fiction, making it nearly impossible to approve through government censorship channels. When the filmmakers refused to compromise this forensic truth, they inevitably collided with the realities of modern corporate distribution. The result was ZEE5 pulling the plug. By replacing the theatricality with meticulous evidence, the creators turned a piece of entertainment into a direct indictment. They created a historical record so precise that authorities found its mere existence intolerable. Right now, the film sits trapped behind closed doors. It remains in a bureaucratic limbo of platform review, entirely inaccessible to Indian audiences. But yanking a digital file from a localized server doesn't delete the story. It effectively creates a digital quarantine, and in the process, generates a modern-day black market for suppressed information. Through all of this blackout, the makers have maintained their public stance, refusing to issue apologies or back down from their creative vision. It highlights exactly how modern suppression operates. 21st century censorship rarely relies on loud public bans. Instead, it uses quiet administrative friction to slowly suffocate a story out of the public consciousness. The attempt to suppress the film has instead triggered the Streisand effect. We can see the reaction in this network graph. As one central node is deleted by the platform, hundreds of interconnected global nodes instantly light up, expanding rapidly. The aggressive act of pulling the film immediately validated its premise, drawing intense international attention to the history the censors wanted hidden. The stubborn resilience of this movie is a direct reflection of the unyielding nature of Jaswant Singh Kalra himself. When a story is rooted in deep, documented reality, it cannot be permanently disappeared. Attempting to bury it doesn't erase the facts. It only ensures the narrative transcends cinema to become a permanent headline. On July 3rd, a highly anticipated film in recent Indian history